morning. My name is Jill Armstrong. I teach in the United States, the state of Kentucky, and I teach humanity to 9th through 12th graders and world history to 9th graders or freshmen.
I'm Tamara Galvan. I'm American, but I've lived in France most of my life, and I'm French too. I teach English as a foreign language, and I also teach.
Hi, I am Isabelli, and I teach French in Woodstock, Illinois.
My name is Mirko Labbri. I coordinate digital innovation and I teach math and science in middle school in San Fior at Istituto Comprensivo Statale di San Fior in the north of Italy, about 1 hour north of Venice.
Hello, I'm Chrissa Velissariou, a physics teacher with 38 years of teaching experience in private and public education in Greece.
Good evening, I am Mariapia Bianchi. I teach in an upper secondary school in Scandicci near Florence, and I belong to the list of experts for the Court of Florence as interpreter and translator for English and Russian.
My name is Soares, and I teach English in a school in the center region, Portugal. Our project is about how we use movies in the classroom. And together we have decided to watch a film in class. The film's title is Hidden Figures. Before watching the video, we also created a Google Forms to see if the students had already seen it or not, and if they had any idea. While watching the film, the students showed a lot of interest, and in the end, the group also produced another Google Forms to analyze the topic, some of the topics that the film was about, namely discrimination, equality, racism. Since I teach French, I showed it in French to my students. After watching the film, I had my students also work in groups and analyze the film in its entirety. So this is the final analysis grid, which was filled in with the different groups' ideas. The teachers then decided that the students should share with each other films that they have watched, and that they should write film reviews about them. Obviously, that the teachers first explained what a film review was. We shared lots of materials with each other on how to write a film review. We explained that to the students. And then this common Padlet is very interesting to see, because we can read different students from different countries sharing their films and sharing their film reviews with each other.
Seeing my student involved in the meetings and working in different way in new activities was very enjoyable.
I enjoyed the most working with different teachers and getting to hear their take on how we could use movies. And I mean, some of them actually even know how to make movies themselves, which I do not.
I think the most enriching part was the discussions between us, because it was really so enriching to talk to each other and to see that there are many different experiences that I always had the feeling that we.
I had to confront the negative reaction of the students to open up to the online meetings. I hope
One of the main challenges was that the language level, we are in middle school still, is not always supporting all the activities we want to develop.
age. The challenges is always when you're working with school districts and schools in different countries or across the United States is time, the time zones. Try to find the time that works with everybody, and that's always going to be an issue.
Personally, I really enjoyed connecting with teachers from different countries to see how they do things as opposed to how we do things in the United States.
Working on a project within the TED alumni community is always very refreshing and brings a lot of new energy, which is, I think, one of the very relevant part of professional development.
So obviously that I find this project very useful. I learned a lot from all the material that you shared in the drive, all the talks we had, all the ideas that were exchanged. It was a very enriching project.
I mean, we are friends. I have never met none of them, but I mean, I really feel that I have somehow some friends I can talk to about. I mean, our personal life. I mean, we didn't talk about so much about our personal life, but somehow what we are came out. Was present in our meetings somehow, and this is something that make us feel closer, I think. And this is something always in progress. This is something that I like to, and this is how it was enriching my professional life too, because somehow I feel that everything I do is connected. I mean, this experience with TED, what I do with films, what I do with this group, what I do with the eTwinning group. I mean, being part of an international environment. I mean, it's something that I always wanted to do, and I'm really glad that I am part of this.
The transatlantic educators dialogue, the alumni initiative, brings a lot of challenges because such diverse culture and such diverse school culture come into contact. But through these challenges, we find new source of motivation, new ideas, and it's always a source of great inspiration.
I also worked in the theater and cinematography club of my school with almost 25 different students on another film. They were seen gradually, clip by clip. The title of the film was Blanca, a Philippines awarded film with which we tried to measure the empathy change of the children through questionnaires as they were seeing gradually emotional scenes, and then were trying to represent them theatrically. Simultaneously, some students of the club worked on the hidden figures questionnaire part by part, as they were evolving in the creations of little scenarios, they created by their own two whole new theatrical plays, one on sexism and one on racism.
The interesting thing about these projects is that they open up our minds. Not only we learn with each other, but we get amazing ideas. So I am not really an expert about films. I don't consider myself to know a lot about it. So I think it would be useful not only for my students, but for me as well, to invite speakers into the school to talk to the students about their own experience. So here we can see one of the speakers that came to school. His name is Paulo Fajardo. He is a journalist, but with lots of experience about short film production. And he came to school, he talked to my students, they asked him a lot of questions, and he shared his first short film. It was about his grandfather. The students were really impressed about his work, not only because it was about one of his family members, but also because his first work, he was 18 and it was already very nicely done. But then he shared other films he has produced so far, and most of them deal with human rights issues. After inviting Paulo Fajardo, I also invited a club, a film club that works with our community. And the speaker had a very interesting strategy. He tries to make my students aware of the history of cinema. And he showed them what we can consider the first films in the history of humanity, titles such as Workers Leaving, The Lumière Factory, and The Arrival of a Train at La Ciotat, both by the Lumière brothers. And my students were impressed with the simplicity of the moving image. So the speaker talked to them, and he went back in time and talked to them about the interesting notion of optical illusions and optical toys that were the grandfathers of cinema. And that's why the next activity was having students create a thaumatrope, which is an optical illusion toy. And they were supposed to create two discs with similar images, or at least images that were related to each other. And when they twirled, the pictures would seem to move or to create a third different image. So the assignments that my students did were these. On the one side, this picture, on the other one, this one, and then they would rotate and create this optical illusion. Here is another work by Vicente. On the one side, this cage open, and then the word freedom would emerge. And now I have some students' works that we can see. I asked them to record small videos of their thaumatropes. Here is one of them. And we can see the word power appear. And this one is by Sara, this one by Inês. We can see different colored hands and the world. So what did these works have in common? Again, the same topic. They had to be connected, somehow connected with the fight for equality, with freedom, and with the fight against discrimination. This one I particularly like. It's a butterfly that can escape from our hands, and it's the illusion of flying freely. This one is a bit noisy because some of them shot themselves at home, whereas others did that in class. This one, again, the shackles are being freed.
So much. Thanks.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you for the experience.